The Mac Mini. It's the silent assassin of the Apple lineup. A powerhouse trapped in a lunchbox. For months, we've waited. For months, we've heard nothing but whispers and rumors of the M5 Mac Mini. And then silence. Apple has been unnervingly quiet, and for the entire Mac community, that silence is a scream. It suggests one thing: delay. But what if I told you the delay isn't a problem? What if the reason Apple is holding the M5 Mac Mini back, pushing its launch deep into 2026, is because they are loading it with a nuclear-level leap in performance that they need time to perfect? What if the Mac Mini, of all machines, is about to become the most important desktop computer of the next decade? For the next 30 minutes, we are diving deep into the hidden clues, the analyst reports, and the code references that Apple thought they buried. We're going to uncover the true M5 Mac Mini release timeline, what the M5 and the M5 Pro chips will actually deliver, and why this seemingly minor refresh is the single biggest upgrade in the Mini's history. You may think you know the rumors, but trust me, you haven't heard the full story. And the answer to the biggest question, should you wait for the M5 or buy the M4 now? That answer changes everything. Stay with me, because what we found hidden in the macOS Tahoe development logs is a game changer. The ghost in the machine, unpacking the M5 chip. Let's start with the heart of the matter, the silicon. The Mac Mini's performance is defined by its chip, and the M5 is not just an iteration. It's a revolution in waiting. We've already seen the first M5 chip drop in the refreshed 14-inch MacBook Pro, and the benchmarks, frankly, are terrifying for the competition. This isn't just about a slight bump. This is about a philosophical shift in how Apple builds its most capable chips. The M5 is built on an enhanced 3-nanometer process. That's standard industry talk for better efficiency. But what does it mean for you, the Mac Mini user? It means a significant, but perhaps expected, CPU gain for your day-to-day tasks. Faster web browsing, snappier app launches, and better power efficiency. That's nice, but it's not the story. The true magic lies in two areas Apple is obsessed with: graphics and artificial intelligence. The story is the GPU and the neural engine. The base M5 chip is rumored to feature a substantially more powerful GPU, and we have code references to back this up. We're talking about a move to a new 10-core GPU architecture. And here is the kicker, the number you need to remember. Apple is reportedly delivering 4 times the peak GPU compute compared to the M4 generation. 4 times. This wasn't achieved by just adding more cores. It was achieved by fundamentally redesigning the GPU with a dedicated neural accelerator in each core. If you're a video editor running Final Cut Pro, a 3D artist working in Blender, or a casual gamer who wants native AAA titles, this one detail is enough to justify the wait. It's a quantum leap that transforms the Mac Mini from a good editing machine into a killer rendering rig. Furthermore, the inclusion of a 3rd-generation ray tracing engine is a silent signal that Apple is serious about gaming and high-fidelity graphics on the desktop. And speaking of killer, let's talk AI. Artificial intelligence is the new front line, and the M5 Mac Mini is being engineered for war. The M5 chip is expected to feature a next-generation 16-core neural engine. This is not for Siri to sound slightly better. This is for professionals. Machine learning, data science, and heavy automation workloads are about to get a massive boost. Imagine training models or running complex, localized AI tasks, like Adobe's generative fill or advanced noise reduction, at speeds that currently require a dedicated, high-end, desktop-class GPU. The M5 is delivering that power in a 6.8-inch square box. The efficiency of running these tasks locally, without sending your data to the cloud, is the M5's quiet, devastating advantage. And we can't ignore the storage and memory. Leaks hint at 2 major internal upgrades: double the storage speeds and improved unified memory bandwidth. We've seen preliminary benchmarks from the M5 MacBook Pro showing SSD read/write speeds nearly doubling the M4 generation. An extraordinary leap. If you've ever waited for a large file to copy or a massive 8K project file to load, you know that SSD speed is the hidden bottleneck. Doubling it is the kind of practical G. game-changing upgrade that Mac Mini users have been begging for. This, combined with Apple potentially increasing the base unified memory to 16 gigabytes, means the entry-level M5 Mac Mini will be far more future-proof than any model before it. So, the base M5 chip is a monster. But the real magic, the true reason for the 2026 delay, lies in its big brother, the M5 Pro. The Pro problem: why Apple needs more time. For the first time, Apple is completely reorganizing its desktop strategy around the Pro-level chips. The Mac Mini is no longer just getting the M5, it's finally getting the M5 Pro, allowing it to truly replace the high-end desktop towers of old. This is the crucial moment for the Mini. It's being granted permission to become a professional-grade machine. But what do we know about the M5 Pro? The M5 Pro for the Mac Mini is rumored to contain a number of cores that will put it on par with, or even surpass, the previous generation's M4 Max chip. The core count increase is expected, but the true excitement comes from the underlying architecture. The most tantalizing and plausible rumor comes from analysts familiar with Apple's internal development, suggesting a radical departure from the current monolithic system-on-a-chip architecture. We are hearing whispers that the M5 Pro and M5 Max might adopt a design similar to Intel's upcoming Panther Lake, a move to separate CPU and GPU blocks. In lay terms, instead of a single massive chip, it's a system of chips, more modular and powerful. Why would Apple do this? Performance. By separating these blocks, Apple can achieve phenomenal uplift in performance, power efficiency, and heat management, all critical factors for the Mac Mini, which is famous for its compact, passive cooling design. A modular design allows for unprecedented power scalability without cooking the tiny aluminum enclosure. The M5 Pro Mac Mini could therefore be the smallest, most powerful desktop computer on the market, period. This redesign is what is pushing the timeline. If Apple is restructuring the very foundation of its Pro chip architecture, it's no wonder the launch is pushed to 2026. This is not a simple spec bump. This is a re-engineering of the entire Mac desktop ecosystem to accommodate the extreme performance demands of modern AI and GPU workloads. Think about the implications. An M5 Pro Mac Mini could rival M3 Max MacBook Pros in pure performance while costing a fraction of the price. It shifts the entire hierarchy. It turns the Mac Mini from an entry-level professional machine into a bona fide Mac studio killer for most users. This is the device that professional users, the coders, the 4K and 6K video editors, the machine learning engineers, will be waiting for. The Pro chip is the ghost in the machine, and its performance will force you to finally ditch your old Intel machines. The real release window. Decoding the 2026 strategy. So, when is this masterpiece arriving? The consensus is now firmly centered on 2026. But the leaks give us a more precise timeline, and, more importantly, the reason for that timeline. Apple is rolling out the M5 series in calculated waves. Wave 1 already launched the base M5 MacBook Pro. Wave 2, Q1 2026 M5 Pro and M5 Max MacBook Pros. Wave 3, Spring 2026, the M5 MacBook Air models. The Mac Mini is part of the final decisive wave of the M5 rollout. We have internal code references, J873S and J873G, that point specifically to new Mac Mini models. These are reportedly slated to arrive with the refreshed Mac Studio, J775C, J775D, likely by mid-2026 or the summer of 2026, coinciding with the release of the next major macOS update, macOS 26.4. This is what analysts are calling Apple's desktop synchronization strategy. Apple is not delaying the Mac Mini because of technical issues. They're delaying it as a strategic chess move. By launching the Mac Mini, M5, M5 Pro, and the Mac Studio, M5 Max, M5 Ultra, in the same window, they ensure a unified and cohesive desktop lineup. They want the entire professional market to look at the new Mac lineup and see a clear, powerful path for every single user, from the home office worker to the massive production studio. This unified launch means better software optimization, fewer bugs, and a more polished experience for everyone. It's a clever tactic. It builds anticipation. It forces the competition to wait. And for the consumer, it means when the Mac Mini finally does arrive, it will be perfectly optimized for the late SD operating system and the entire M5 chip family, ensuring you're getting the most polished, complete package possible. The M5 Mac Mini is the anchor of this new desktop ecosystem. The unseen upgrades, I/O design, and price. Now let's address the big question about the physical machine. Will it look different? All credible leaks point to a firm no. The external design of the Mac Mini is unlikely to change. Apple refreshed the Mac Mini design with the M2 models, and they typically stick with a successful hardware enclosure for several generations to maximize efficiency and consistency. This is actually good news. The compact aluminum chassis is iconic, efficient, and beloved by users who want a clean desk setup. We're looking at the same 7.7-inch square, same compact form factor. Any major design overhaul, such as adding more ports or a new material, is likely reserved for the M6 generation. But just because the outside is the same doesn't mean the inside is untouched. We've talked about the chip, but the support hardware around the chip is also getting a massive overhaul. Beyond the doubled SSD speeds, we are expecting significant updates to I/O capabilities. Rumors suggest improved Thunderbolt controllers to fully take advantage of the M5's new architecture, potentially allowing for even better external GPU or storage enclosure support. More critically, there's speculation about increased base storage and memory configurations. The current base Mac Mini often feels constrained by its default specs. The M5 Mac Mini is widely expected to offer a more generous baseline, offering users more value and flexibility right out of the box. Think 16 gigabytes RAM as the true starting point for Pro models. This is the quiet quality of life upgrade that power users will truly appreciate and is one of the most compelling reasons to wait. But let's talk price. With all these revolutionary upgrades, the 4x GPU performance, the new M5 Pro architecture, the doubled SSD speeds, will Apple hike the price? The speculation is mixed. Apple generally maintains its price points for simple, chip-refresh devices. The base M5 Mac Mini should likely stick close to the current M4 starting price, allowing it to remain the most accessible Mac desktop. However, the introduction of a truly high-end M5 Pro Mac Mini, a model that directly competes with entry-level Mac Studio models, will undoubtedly come with a premium price tag. We can speculate a new, top-tier Mac Mini configuration entering the $1,500 to $2,000 range, a price that would have been shocking years ago, but will feel completely justified by the M5 Pro's sheer, game-changing power. The bottom line, should you wait? This is the central dilemma facing every Mac buyer right now. Should you jump on a discounted M4 Mac Mini, or endure the 2026 wait for the M5 Mac Mini? The decision you make here will determine the longevity of your next desktop computer. The answer hinges entirely on what you do. 1. If you're a casual user, a student, or a light productivity worker. If you mostly browse, stream, and use Microsoft Office or light creative apps, the M4 Mac Mini is still an absolute powerhouse, and the deals you can find now are compelling. The M5's revolutionary AI and GPU gains are, frankly, overkill for your needs. If you need a Mac right now, get the discounted M4. 2. If you're a content creator, a developer, a 3D artist, or an AI or ML enthusiast, you must wait. I cannot stress this enough. The M5 Mac Mini, especially the M5 Pro variant, is being custom-built for your workflow. The 4x GPU compute is a rendering miracle. The 16-core neural engine is a paradigm shift for AI workloads, providing a speed advantage that cannot be patched in with a software update. The rumored doubled SSD speeds will cut your loading and export times in half. Waiting 6 to 8 months is a small price to pay for what will be a generational leap in performance that will keep your machine relevant for 5 years or more. Buying an M4 now means immediately owning a machine that is already being outpaced by the M5's GPU and AI capabilities. The Mac Mini is evolving. It is shedding its image as the budget Mac and stepping into the ring as the most compelling desktop computer on the market. It offers a unique combination of extreme power density, professional-grade I/O, and desktop flexibility. The M5 Mac Mini is not just another upgrade. It's Apple's declaration of war on the traditional desktop PC. It's the device that signals the true start of the AI PC era. The final mystery. One more thing. Before we wrap this up, there's one final, explosive leak that confirms Apple's ultimate desktop vision. A subtle clue in the same development logs that pointed to the M5 Mac Mini's existence. The Mac Studio code references. The Mac Studio is expected to be updated with the M5 Max and, more importantly, the M5 Ultra chip. This is significant because it suggests a complete realignment of Apple's chip family. By dedicating the Ultra chip to the Studio, it means Apple is fully committed to a high-end desktop offering, which paradoxically means the Mac Mini is safer and more powerful than ever. Why? Because the M5 Mac Mini Pro will slot in perfectly beneath the Studio. Apple is finally drawing a clean line of performance. M5 Mac Mini, the powerful entry-level desktop. M5 Pro Mac Mini, the compact professional workhorse that handles nearly everything. M5 Ultra Mac Studio, the uncompromising no-limits super desktop for massive firms and VFX houses. This clean-cut segmentation is a massive win for consumers, guaranteeing that the M5 Mac Mini will be the most performance per dollar machine Apple has ever built. This alignment confirms that the delay is strategic, not remedial. They're not fixing the Mac Mini. They are elevating it. The M5 Mac Mini is coming. It's coming later than we hoped, but it's coming as the most important and arguably the most powerful Mac Mini Apple has ever conceived. Get ready to rethink everything you know about compact computing.